Hey, hello investors and future investors. Welcome to the channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to close off your LEAPS option. And I will show you how by closing your LEAPS option, you're able to make more money and manage your portfolio even better. Now, if you're new to options trading or you want to use options trading in order for you to grow a small account portfolio, then you happen to stumble onto the right video. Welcome to Investment Gains. Let's jump right into it. Welcome back, investors and future investors. My name is Tim, and on this channel, I show you how I use my portfolio in order to make consistent income. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways in order for you to close your LEAPS option, and I will show you how to use this in order for you to make more money. Now, for today's video, we're going to be using none other than Sweet Green, ticker SG. Now, before we go ahead and get down and dirty with options, I want to let you guys know. On this channel, we focus on growing small account portfolios using consistent, safe option strategies that give them income whenever they do the trade. This allows you to grow a small account portfolio profitably over time. Now, like I was saying, there are 3 different ways in which you can close your LEAPS option. The first one is to let it expire. Hopefully, no one chooses this route because it absolutely defeats the purpose of getting into a LEAPS option. The other 2 we're going to get into during this video. Now, before we do that, for those of you that are new to the channel or new to LEAPS option, I'm going to show you how to first of all get into a LEAPS option. For those of you more established option traders and investors, just bear with me. This is going to be really quick. So let's go ahead and get down and dirty with options, and we're going to go down to the bottom and go to Trade SG options. Now we have Trade SG options. In order for us to go ahead and do a LEAPS option, you must first go to buy, then you go to call, and in order for it to be a LEAPS option, you need to make sure it's at least 365 days out or a year expiration. So we're going to be going with January 16, 2026, which gives us around 304 days to expiration. Not quite 365 days, and that's because the next expiration date is 2027. So let's stick with the January 16 just for the purposes of this video. Now, in order for your LEAPS option to be the most effective, it is highly advisable that you choose your strike price below the current share price. Now, as you can see here, I already have one LEAPS option right here. For today's video, however, we will be using the $17 strike price, and we're going to be paying $10.20 in order for us to own this LEAPS option. Now, why does anyone want to do a LEAPS option? So, the whole purpose of owning a LEAPS option is for you to be able to control 100 shares of a stock that you're not able to purchase outright if you were to buy the shares. So, for instance, SG is trading at $23.64 per share. If you had to buy 100 shares right now, it would cost you $2,364. If you don't have that amount of money in your portfolio, but you still want to trade this stock, the LEAPS option is a better option strategy for you. By picking up a LEAPS option, you're only going to pay $1,020. And that's because you're going to buy 100 shares at $10.20 per share. What this allows you to do is that this allows you to control 100 shares of the stock. Now, how do you exit a LEAPS option? And for that, let's go into the LEAPS option that I already have. Okay, so here we are on the LEAPS option, and you could determine it's a LEAPS option by a couple of things. One is a $20 call. As you can see, the stock price is higher than the strike price. And the second way you could know is because of the expiration date. As you can see here as well, the expiration date is January 16th, 2026. Now, I do have one contract, and I did purchase this contract for $9 per share, which came up to about $900. As you can see to the bottom here, I'm kind of down right now, just $55, which represents 6%. Now, I am not going to get rid of this LEAPS option. This is just for the purposes of making this video. I actually love this stock, and I have a couple more LEAPS of this exact stock. But before you get into this stock, always make sure you do your own due diligence and make sure you have an exit strategy before entering any option trade. Now, first to go ahead and close this LEAPS option, this is what you do. Okay, so let's go ahead and I will show you how to go ahead and close this position. So firstly, we're going to go ahead and go into view all option. And this is the second way how you could close this LEAPS option. Now we're going to have to go ahead and find our current contract, our current LEAPS. And for that, you need to choose the exact same strike date. And that was January 16, 2026. Once you're able to locate your original LEAPS option, then you're going to go ahead and do the opposite of what you did to get into it. So We bought a call in order to get into it. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to sell that call. So we're going to go to sell and call, and then we're going to have to choose the exact same strike price. So let's go ahead and get back to the $20 strike price. As you can see, one option right here. We're going to click into it. We're going to hit continue, and voila. Now, I did purchase this LEAPS option that cost me a total of $900. I am down on this LEAPS option. If I were to close this LEAPS option right now, I would receive a credit of $829, which is going to be less than what I paid for it. So if your LEAPS option is in danger or is going down, then your first option, or rather your second option, is actually to close it out by selling to close. Now, you're going to lose a little bit of money, but overall, you're going to save yourself a lot of heartaches in the long run. So far, I've now showed you two ways how to close the LEAPS option. One is to let it go until expiration. Two is to go ahead and sell your LEAPS option. In order for it to get into the LEAPS option, you did buy a call. So to close it out, you simply go look for the exact same strike price, and then you're going to sell a call, which is the opposite of buying a call, and that should allow you to close the option. Once you do that, you will be receiving some kind of credit. Now, before we continue, I did mention this in the first part of the video. The whole purpose of having a LEAPS option in your portfolio is that you of the mindset that this share price is going to increase in value. The LEAPS option strategy is the equivalent of what a buy and hold strategy is for stocks. So if you were to get into a LEAPS option, please make sure you have the patience in order to wait until the stock does what it needs to do in order for you to lock in your investment gains, or you could use this exit strategy. So the third exit strategy, the third way you could close off this LEAPS option, let's go ahead and get into that right now. Okay, so for the third way, close off your LEAPS option, if you're using the Robinhood brokerage platform, Robinhood makes this super simple, and that's why most people use Robinhood. If you guys are not using Robinhood right now and you want to sign up for Robinhood, feel free to use the link in my description below. That's going to help you out. It's also going to help out the channel. Now, the third way in order for you to close this LEAPS option is going to be by going to this option right down here that says roll this position. Let's go ahead and we're going to click into it. Now, rolling your position means closing the position. It's just a two-step process to get you into a further out date or further out expiration price. So let me show you. When you go ahead and you hit the roll position, what Robinhood does is that it pulls up your current position and it closes it off. What you now need to do is go ahead and open another position simultaneously while Robinhood is closing your position. Now let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see here, Robinhood already chose the strike date for me, which is January 15, 2027. Now, as I showed you guys, the next expiration date after the 2026 date was 2027. So automatically that popped up. Now, the strategy I showed you right before this, if we were to close this right now, we would be receiving $8.10. Now, in order for us to do the roll position, now we're going to go ahead and choose another strike price. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose the $35 strike price. And now we're going to be buying another call option. Now, the other call option we're going to buy is going to cost us $6.60, which is going to be less than the amount of money we sold our previous one for. Let's go ahead. We're going to click into it. And because of that, we should be receiving what's known as a credit. So if we were to roll our current position, it's advisable that you enter into a new position where you get an additional credit for doing that. To get an additional credit, you may have to go further out with your strike date, or you may have to go further up with your strike price. And those are the three ways in which you could close the LEAPS. So let's go ahead and review them real quick. The three ways in order for you to close your LEAPS option is going to be to let it go to expiration. This option is not really feasible because the whole purpose of you getting into a LEAPS option is because you're anticipating the stock increasing in value as time goes by. If the stock is going to increase in value, then it's advisable that you close off your option and lock in your gains. Now, the other way in which you could close off your LEAPS option is by actually going to do the opposite of what you did to get into the option contract. To buy a LEAPS option, you had to go to buy and call. In order for you to sell a LEAPS option, you simply go to sell and call. You choose the exact same strike date and the exact same strike price, and that should allow you to close it. Doing it this way, you will receive some additional credit. the credit might be a lot less than what you paid for the original option. Now, the third way in which you could close your LEAPS option is by rolling the position. Rolling means you simultaneously close the current position while opening a new position. Whenever you go to roll your LEAPS option, you may be receiving a credit or you may have to pay. It all depends on the strike price you choose and also the strike date you choose. Now, for those of you guys that made it to the end of the video, I would like to tell you guys that LEAPS option is a big part of my portfolio because in my opinion, this is one of the best option strategies out there. If you guys got any value from the video, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if there's anyone out there that's struggling to grow a small accounts portfolio, then feel free to share this video with them. Let's help as many as we can. And until the next video, keep pushing your investments.